Stray, written by Niko. Chapter 4, A Newfound Friend. It had only been 4 months since Stray made his first appearance, and yet many waves had already been caused. Quickly afterwards, he started to rise on the most like vigilante list, which was something the Hero Commission hated, but could never do anything about, until he settled at second place after about a month. Maybe it was the cat's doing, or maybe it was just a good or maybe he was just a good vigilante to people. Izuku liked to think it was a bit of both. One thing he was the most proud of, though, was officially becoming the second safe vigilante to the Quirkless people. It had taken Izuku a while to recreate a laptop from the trash on the beach, but as soon as he did, he logged into the Quirkless community app. As soon as he did, he was shocked to find people had agreed that Stray was deemed safe, and that the next person to find him would give him a flower. It wasn't a real flower. Izuku knew this. A flower was something that only quirkless people or safe people who had to be proved as safe by a member of the community to gain its title. It was a red flower charm that could even be a patch. Even be a patch should be that worked better. To quirked people, it seemed it was simply a charm. To the quirkless, though, it was a sign of safety. Izuku had thought about adding one immediately to his costume, but decided that if he did it before people deemed Stray safe, it would cause more problems than good. Now, though, that Stray had been deemed safe, the second person to be deemed safe that wasn't related, married, or best friend with a quirkless person, at least to everyone else. Izuku had no trouble sewing the flower patch into his shoulder of his gear. The flower was a specific was in a specific was a red spider lily. Somewhat ironic in a way. Shortly after finishing adding it, he decided to look more into the other vigilantes who were safe, something he had yet to do. They would become a good ally should Izuku be able to find them. Izuku scrolled through the list, which was still almost pathetic, and looked at one of their names on it. Moonlight, he muttered out loud, the rain pattering against the roof of his van as he waited to be able to go on patrol. I think I've heard of them before. I know I have. Sitting back, Izuku glanced down at Niko, who had joined into the few allowed into the van only a week before. The first non-quirkless cat to be allowed into the van. He was a beautiful Burman cat with bright blue eyes that always seemed to shine. Izuku's eyes widened as he remembered why the name sounded familiar. Moonlight was the #1 favorite vigilante according to the official vigilantes.com, which was the most popular vigilantes website. Now Izuku was extremely happy to know that the top 2 vigilantes were deemed safe by the community was incredible for them. Izuku was extremely proud to be one of them. That night, Izuku was distracted by a number of things on patrol. Stormy days were the least duties busy days, because no one seemed to want to leave. He stopped by Hana's for a quick visit when he noticed Boat meowing on the rooftop for him. When he got there, Hana handed him a flower patch and laughed when Stray showed off his already stitched in on one. Keep it. I can just tell that the person under the mask is okay to wear it as well. You should be proud. Not many gain this title. Stray laughed. I am proud, prouder than I ever have been. With that, he and Hana one last hug and ran off to continue his job. He had been sitting on the side of the rooftop when he noticed a white cat curled up in a box in the alleyway beneath him. Not wanting to leave the animal out in the cold, Stray jumped down and lifted the poor stray creature out of the sloppy, droopy box. Let's get you home, honey. It's too cold out. Let's get you home, honey. It's too cold to be outside right now. Yes, it is. Izuku, he said slightly, babying the small white fluff ball. Izuku took a small jump to prepare himself to run up to the side of the building to the fire escape when he suddenly found himself 50 feet in the air. Stray gave a slight screech and flaring his arms before he realized he was floating down, not falling. Stray had one explanation for this, so he smiled down at the cat, who finally opened her eyes to reveal a bright blue left eye and a dark brown right eye. Both of them gleamed as though she was laughing at him. Stray gave a huff as he started to walk towards the beach, not willing to take the chance of figuring this new quirk out. I think I'm gonna name you Jump. Sorry it's not a better name. An elegant cat like you deserves an elegant name. But I have a personal rule that I name my cats after the first thing that pops into mind. Jump just meowed at him seeming not to care. Though she was a cat, so that might explain it. After that, things started to calm down, and not much happened. Izuku started to spot more Corvus people hanging out on rooftops, waiting to meet the newly deemed safe vigilante. Stray visited all of them and would always go back to the van to find these people, sending out how good of an ally to them he was on the forums. It always left a good feeling in his heart. Things even got better a few weeks later. It had started as a normal night on patrol. Stray was sitting on a rooftop after a fairly easy night just before he was about to turn in. The night was clear and silent, the air crisp as it started to get colder. Stray was going to have to start reinforcing his costumes with warmer materials. I wonder if I can make a whole new winter outfit. Crimes don't stop when it gets colder after all, he thought to himself. It's getting pretty cold out. Want to go someplace? A voice came from behind him. Stray immediately whipped around, pulling his knife out as he did. Easy, kid. I don't plan on hurting you. The only safe... Easy, kid. I don't plan on hurting the only other safe person. Stray gasped. There, standing 5 feet in front of him, was Moonlight, the number one vigilante and the only other safe one. Stray jumped up. You're Moonlight. I've been wanting to meet you for a while. It's an honor. He was aware that it was rambling, but he couldn't help it as he looked at her appearance. She was at least 5'9" and had dark skin and white hair that was pulled back into 5 braids, which all stopped to rest at her hair rest and the rest of her hair surrounded her head like a soft cloud. Her outfit con- contained consisted of a pair of pale blue, almost white, high-thigh boots that Stray could see had reinforced heels and ankles. The boots were immediately met with a pair of regular midnight blue tights. He was assuming, he couldn't really tell. She was wearing what looked like a leotard in the same color over the tights, but it stopped right under her chest where it was met by a simple black long-sleeve shirt that ended at the fingerless gloves. Stray could see the patterned layers in her clothes and immediately knew it would stop most hits that could end up fatal. A black mask was pulled over her mouth and nose, but her eyes, which were stark white, showed up, shining brightly through the night. Stray also took note of the whitish blue belt that she held, what looked like a few knives and medical supplies. Stray could also pick up on a necklace that was tucked under her shirt and as well as two simple moon studded earrings. Probably the most beautiful and eye-catching of the things was the katana strapped to Moonlight's back. The handle was a woven mix of dark and light blues, whilst the rest of it was black and blue accents. Stray immediately knew it was the same one that she was known for, being able to control Moonlight. She would wave it around the weapon and create deadly weapons that could stand against. Moonlight laughed. Always nice to meet a fan. But what do you say, Stray? I know the cafe serves only vigilantes or villains at night. It works as a neutral ground as and has excellent coffee. Plus, for vigilantes, often they offer discounts depending on your rank. So it won't cost you anything as number 2. Stray stood there for a second, contemplating the pros and cons of going with her. For one, she was safe. She was a safe person, so he already had some trust in her. Plus, that would probably do him some good to show his face a bit more. After slowly nodding, Moonlight immediately turned and jumped to the other roof with a shout of, "Follow me then!" Racing after her left Moonlight in a wild chase as he caught up quickly with the help of using Jump. After a few blocks, the pair arrived at a small cafe. Stray had seen it before but never thought of it much. Now that he could see multiple vigilantes, 1 or 2 underground heroes, and even a few minor criminals. Moonlight gave a laugh and at his apparent surprise. "Come on, kid. We've got a lot to talk about." Walking through the doors was like an alternate world from outside. It was warm and loud and busy, people talking loudly, coffee orders being shouted over shoulders, and people just having a good time. Stray was amazed to see all of it. "Moonlight, you're back," called a voice to the last of them. Stray turned to see a server with hot pink hair smiling at them as she set down 2 drinks in front of them. "Hey, Anya." "And yeah, I'm here, and I brought someone new." With that, Moonlight motioned Stray forward from where he was standing behind her. Stray immediately noticed how the cafe went quiet as he stepped forward a bit. Is that Stray? It must be fit fits the description. But they're so small. They look like a kid. Whisper rose up around him as he started to tense, eyes flickering to all the quickest exits. That was until Moonlight threw her arm around his shoulder and called out to everyone. Everyone, give them space! Y'all act like you've never seen a vigilante before. They hushed up immediately. Thank you, Stray muttered, and Moonlight just chuckled. No problem, kid. Let's get some drinks and we can talk. Stray nodded before taking a deep breath and following her to the front, having no idea how much his life was going to change. That was the end of chapter 5. The link will be down in the description like always. Comments and kudos are always appreciated. If you enjoyed this, there's one more chapter as of right now. Other than that, I hope you have a good day or night, my gemstones. Oh, I also almost forgot. I might be changing my name to the Onyx the Sunflower. And if you have any suggestions on what you guys like to be called, or if you want to be called anything, I would always appreciate the input, because Gemstones is good, but I want to change my name to Onyx the Sunflower. So I hope I'll see you next time, my gemstones.